Hello and welcome to Angels on Call. Today we'll be dealing with blood transfusion. The question on role of nurse during blood transfusion and complications of blood transfusion are the favorite ones for the examiner. So let us go for the contents. We'll be dealing with introduction, types of blood group, types of blood components or transfusion products, indications of blood transfusion, complications, nursing responsibility and nursing diagnosis. So, a blood transfusion is a medical procedure in which blood or blood components are transfused through an intravenous line or a catheter. The procedure is normally a common sight nowadays and it is completely safe. The types of blood group we all know is A, B, AB and O. So these blood group, what it does is it determines the genes that are inherited from your parents. Each blood group, it has an RHD positive or an RHD negative. So there are total 8 blood groups. Yes. So the blood group A, it has A antigen on the RBC cells and anti-B antibodies in the plasma. When a person has blood group B, it means it has B antigen on RBCs and anti-A antibodies in the plasma. If the blood group is O, it has no antigen and anti-A and anti-B antibodies in the plasma. Blood group AB has A and B antigen but no antibodies in the plasma. So let's revise once again. For blood group A, it has A antigen on the RBC. So if you remember A antigen, so simultaneously it is an anti-B antibody. In case of blood group B, if it is B antigen, then simultaneously anti-A antibodies. If the blood group is O, there is no antigen and anti-A and anti-B antibodies, and in blood group AB we have A and B antigen but no antibodies in the plasma. So antigen is a substance, we all know it induces an immune response, and antibodies, what it does, when there is any foreign substance or germs that enter into our body, it will alert the immune system and destroys that foreign substance. So the RH system, RHD antigen is a protein in the RBC. So if you have RHD in your RBCs, you are RH positive. If you do not have RHD protein in your RBC, you are RH negative. So in short, there are in all 8 blood groups with 4 main blood group. So A RH positive is A positive, B RH positive is B positive, A RH negative is A negative, B RH negative is B negative, AB RH positive is AB positive, AB RH negative is AB negative, O RH positive is O positive and O RH negative is O negative. ORH negative is a universal donor, we all know, because it does not have any antigen and compatible with every blood group, and ABRH positive is a universal recipient because it does not have any antibody. We saw the types of blood groups. Now we see the type of blood components or blood products. So the first is red blood cells. So a physician orders an RBC transfusion in patient who has an acute blood loss, asymptomatic anemia or has an acute sickle cell crisis. Next we go for platelets. So platelet transfusion is ordered or indicated to patients to prevent hemorrhage or with thrombocytopenia, or if the patient has any platelet function defects in extreme case of dengue as well. Next we go to the fresh frozen plasma. For it is for the reversal of anticoagulant effect, like if the patient has vitamin K deficiency or there is a disorder named as disseminated intravascular coagulation, wherein the proteins that control the blood clotting factor, it becomes overactive. So in these disease condition, the fresh frozen plasma is being transfused. The next is cryoprecipitate. It is done in case of hypofibrinogenemia, in which most often occurs in the setting of massive hemorrhage or in case of, I said before, disseminated intravascular coagulation. Why do we transfuse blood? First, in case of surgery. This is to replace the lost blood, and in case of injury, Then if the patient has any bleeding diseases, like for example due to ulcer there is GI tract bleeding, or due to other illnesses like leukemia, anemia, or if the patient is undergoing any cancer treatment like radiation therapy, chemotherapy, or if the patient has anemia. So anemia, what happens, the patient does not have enough RBCs, so to compensate for that we give blood transfusion. It can develop, anemia is normally developed if the person has iron deficient food. Also for sickle cell diseases, what happens in sickle cell diseases, there is RBC disorder, so uniform distribution of oxygen does not take place throughout the body. So if this oxygen is not uniformly distributed, your organs like your liver, heart, kidney, they suffer damage from abnormal functions, and because of their inability to flow their small blood vessels. Then next are bleeding disorders, example hemophilia. Complications of blood transfusion: if blood transfusion doesn't take place successfully, there will be allergic reaction. So some people have allergic reactions to blood received during a transfusion even when the right blood type is given. This can be because the donor blood containing specific plasma proteins that the recipient blood sees as an allergens. Next, the donor blood containing food allergens such as peanut or gluten, or the antibodies in donor blood react with antibodies in the recipient bloods. So the symptoms of allergic reaction can be rashes and itching all over the body. Like most allergic reactions, this can be treated with antihistamines. The next, developing a fever is your body's response to WBCs in the transfused blood. So it can be a sign of serious reaction if patient experiences chest pain or nausea. Next is acute immune hemolytic reaction. It is a very serious problem, but it is very rare. The reaction is caused by patient's body attacking the transfused RBCs. So the attack triggers a release of substance that damages the kidney. This is often the case when the donor blood is not a proper match with the patient's blood type. So the symptoms of this disorder is nausea, fever, chills, chest and lower back pain, and dark urine. The next is anaphylactic reaction. So anaphylactic reaction starts between 15 to 20 minutes of starting the blood transfusion. This may be life threatening. So the symptoms of anaphylactic reaction will be the swelling all over the face or in the throat. There will be shortness of breath and hypotension, that is decrease in BP. The next complication of blood transfusion is blood-borne infections. So all donated blood is screened and tested for any virus or bacteria, but there are very rare incidences that infections through blood transfusion occur. So blood-borne infections, we all know, is from HIV, hepatitis B and hepatitis C. So this is very rare. So the role of nurse, I have in detail I have made each and every slide so that you can understand the topic, because this topic is been asked in the exam for 5 marks. So the role of nurse is, first you have to verify the doctor's order. You have to inform the client and explain the procedure as well as to the relatives as to what you all are going to do on the patient. Next is check for cross matching and ensure compatibility. You should explain that cross-matching is done to detect the presence of antibodies in the recipient against the RBCs of the donor. Next is check the vital signs. If there is already fever or rise in body temperature, do not proceed for blood transfusion. Next is follow strict aseptic methods. Double check the blood bag with another staff, preferably your senior staff, and you have to check for the serial number, blood component, blood group, expiry date and screening test. Bring the blood to room temperature before transfusion to prevent chills. Ideally, it is said that once the blood bag is brought from the blood bank, you should transfuse the blood within 30 minutes. Next is identify the correct patient. Use IV cannula of 18 to 20 gauge for easy flow of blood. If the IV cannula is already of 20 gauge in the patient's hand, look for its patency and always prefer a new IV line for blood transfusion. Use blood transfusion set with special micron mesh filter to prevent administration of blood clots and particles. So in this picture you can make out this is the blood transfusion set, and to the right is the filter. Next is start infusion slowly. Remain at bedside for 15 to 30 minutes because adverse reaction takes place mostly within 15 to 20 minutes. Example is the anaphylactic reaction. Next, monitor vital signs every 30 minutes. Initially, if you are giving RBCs, it takes 4 hours for blood transfusion. So, initially go for 30 minutes of vital signs monitoring followed by 1 hour. Do not mix medications with blood transfusion to prevent adverse reaction. Do not use blood transfusion line for flushing of medications because in case if there is adverse reaction, we would not know whether it is from the blood transfusion or the medication. Administer 0.9% sodium chloride before after blood transfusion. Never use dextrose as it may cause hemolysis. Administer blood transfusion for 4 hours if it is an RBC. Normally these orders are given by physician. Blood transfusion for 4 hours, RBC 1 pint or 2 pint. Platelets and plasma can be transfused within 20 minutes, and make sure that you transfuse these products within the standard time. Transfuse the blood product within the correct time for better results, because after that what happens is there is shelf life for each and every cells. So if these times proceed, what happens is this cell die and the blood transfusion becomes of no use. Nursing diagnosis is activity intolerance related to continuous transfusion, self-care deficit related to inbuilt IV cannula, anxiety related to prognosis, risk for infection related to invasive catheter, and risk for allergic reaction related to allergens present in the blood. So that's all for today, folks. Take care and stay healthy. If you are satisfied with the class, kindly share it with your friends and comment below for any topics to be taken, and do not forget to subscribe for the latest videos. Thank you.